Welcome to Course in Miracles in Practice. It's great to have you all here with us.
We're so happy you decided to join us.
As we kind of dig into the course and, really think about how it can help us in our day-to-day lives.
It's one thing to just read it, but it's another to actually apply it.
Exactly.
That's what we're all about here.
So each day, we're going to be taking one lesson from the workbook.
Just one.
And really just unpacking it.
Yeah, breaking it down.
Seeing what it means and how it applies.
So like today, for example, we're looking at lesson 105 of the course. We'll start by hearing the full text of the lesson. Then we can really get into the heart of its message and explore its applications.
Right. Sounds like a plan.
My brother, peace and joy I offer you, that I may have God's peace and joy as mine. God's peace and joy are mine. God's peace and joy are yours. Today we will accept them, knowing they belong to us. And we will try to understand these gifts increase as we receive them. They're not like the gifts the world can give, in which the giver loses as he gives the gift. The taker is the richer by his loss. These are not gifts, but bargains made with guilt. A truly given gift entails no loss. It is impossible that one can gain because another loses. This implies a limit and an insufficiency. No gift is given thus. Such gifts are but a bid for a more valuable return, a loan with interest to be paid in full. A temporary lending meant to be a pledge of debt to be repaid with more than was received by him who took the gift. This strange distortion of what giving means pervades all levels of the world you see. It strips all meaning from the gifts you give and leaves you nothing in the ones you take. A major learning goal this course has set is to reverse your view of giving so you can receive. For giving has become a source of fear, and so you would avoid the only means by which you can receive. Accept God's peace and joy, and you will learn a different way of looking at a gift. His gifts will never lessen when they are given away, they but increase thereby. As heaven's peace and joy intensify when you accept them as God's gifts to you, so does the joy of your Creator grow when you accept His joy and peace as yours. True giving is creation. It extends the limitless to the unlimited, eternity to timelessness, and love unto itself. It adds to all that is complete already, not in simple terms of adding more, for that implies that it was less before. It adds by letting what cannot contain itself fulfill its aim of giving everything it has away, securing it forever for itself. Today, accept God's peace and joy as yours. Let him complete himself as he defines completion. You will understand that what completes him must complete his son as well. He cannot give through loss, nor can his son. Receive his gift of joy and peace today, and he will thank you for your gift to him. One of the first things that jumps out at me is how the course challenges our typical understanding of giving and receiving.
Totally. We're conditioned to think that giving means losing something. But lesson 105 paints a very different picture, especially when it comes to spiritual gifts.
Exactly. It's like in the world, we often see gifts as transactions. You give something and you expect something in return, or even if you don't consciously expect something back, there's still this underlying sense of depletion.
Right, like a kind of scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
The Course is turning that idea on its head. It's saying that spiritual gifts, things like peace and joy, they actually increase when they're shared.
I love that. It's not a zero-sum game.
Not at all. It's more like when you share joy, you're not dividing it up, you're amplifying it. You're not losing any of your own joy, and the person you're sharing it with gets to experience more joy too.
That's a really helpful way to think about it.
Yeah,
So
total shift in perspective.
And then there's this part about actively considering those we've denied peace and joy, even those we might consider enemies.
Yes, this is where it starts to get really challenging.
It is. It's like the Course is saying that if we're holding on to resentment or judgment toward anyone, we're ultimately blocking ourselves from fully experiencing peace and joy.
And not only that, we're denying those very things to the other person as well. It's a double-edged sword.
I see that.
And it goes even deeper than that. The idea of enemies, as the Course presents it, is really an illusion. We've created this separation in our minds, and we're projecting it onto others.
Okay, so it's not really about them being objectively bad or wrong. It's about our perception of them.
Exactly. It's about the barriers we've built up within ourselves. And by consciously offering peace and joy to those we perceive as enemies, we start to dismantle those internal barriers.
Which then opens us up to receiving those things more fully ourselves.
Exactly. It's all interconnected.
There's also this fascinating link made between our acceptance of peace and joy and God's completion.
Right. That's a really key point.
It's like, it's suggesting that our willingness to receive these gifts actually contributes to God's fulfillment.
And it's not that God is incomplete in any literal sense. It's more about the idea of full expression. God's creation includes us, And our complete acceptance of his gifts allows for the fullest expression of his love and joy.
So it's like a circuit being completed.
I like that analogy. And it emphasizes the profound interconnectedness between God and his creation. We're not separate entities. We're all part of this one unified being.
And then there's this part about the fear of giving, which is something that the Course addresses in other lessons as well.
Right. But here it's specifically tied to the idea of receiving God's gifts.
Yeah. It's like we might be afraid to fully give, to fully extend peace and joy because we're afraid of being depleted. We're afraid of being left with less.
And that fear comes from the ego's belief in scarcity. But the Course teaches that in the realm of spirit, there's no such thing as lack. There's only abundance.
So when we give from that place of abundance, we're not losing anything. We're actually opening ourselves up to receive even more.
Exactly. The more we give, the more we have to give. It's a paradoxical but very powerful principle.
I also noticed that compared to some earlier lessons, which seem more internally focused, Lesson 105 really emphasizes outward action.
It does. It's not just about contemplating these ideas. It's about putting them into practice in our relationships with others.
The act of extending peace and joy to others is a way of affirming those things within ourselves.
It's a way of making them real in our experience. And it's a powerful way to dismantle the ego's illusion of separation.
Let's dive into the practice instructions for today.
Okay, great.
Today, our practice periods will start a little differently. Begin today by thinking of those brothers who have been denied by you the peace and joy that are their right under the equal laws of God. Here you denied them to yourself, and here you must return to claim them as your own. Think of your enemies a little while, and tell each one as he occurs to you. My brother, peace and joy I offer you, that I may have God's peace and joy as mine. Thus you prepare yourself to recognize God's gifts to you, and let your mind be free of all that would prevent success today. Now are you ready to accept the gifts of peace and joy which God has given you? Now are you ready to experience the joy and peace you have denied yourself? Now you can say God's peace and joy are mine, for you have given what you would receive. You must succeed today if you prepare your mind as we suggest, for you have let all bars to peace and joy be lifted up, and what is yours can come to you at last. So tell yourself, God's peace and joy are mine, and close your eyes a while and let his voice assure you that the words you speak are true. Spend your 5 minutes thus with him each time you can today. But do not think that less is worthless when you cannot give him more. At least remember hourly to say the words that call on him to give you what he wills to give and wills you to receive. Determine not to interfere today with what he wills. And if a brother seems to tempt you to deny God's gifts to him, see it as but another chance to let yourself receive the gifts of God as yours. Then bless your brother thankfully and say, My brother, peace and joy I offer you, that I may have God's peace and joy as mine. The instruction to start by thinking of those we've denied peace and joy, especially our enemies, is very direct.
The Course is saying, let's get real here. Let's address those areas where we're holding back.
And it's not about condoning whatever they may have done or said. It's about choosing to release our own resentment and judgment.
And that phrase, my brother, peace and joy I offer you, that I may have God's peace and joy as mine, is so powerful.
It is. It's like a mantra for releasing those blocks within ourselves.
And I think it's really important to remember that this is not about trying to change the other person. It's about shifting our own perception.
Recognizing their inherent worth as a child of God.
Exactly. And when we can do that, when we can genuinely offer them peace and joy, even if they don't seem to deserve it from our ego's perspective, that's when we start to experience true healing within ourselves.
And that brings us to another key point. You have given what you would receive.
Yeah, that's really at the heart of this lesson.
It's so direct. The Course is saying if you want to experience peace and joy, give peace and joy. It's that simple.
And it might seem counterintuitive from the world's perspective, but when we align ourselves with the principles of the Course, we realize that giving is the most direct path to receiving.
It's not about earning it. It's about opening ourselves up to it.
Exactly. And that's where the preparation of the mind comes in.
Which the practice instructions talk about quite a bit.
Yeah, it's crucial. We have to actively choose to let go of the barriers that prevent us from receiving God's gifts.
And those barriers are often made up of our own judgments, our own fears, our own beliefs in lack and separation.
All those things that keep us feeling small and limited.
And forgiveness is a huge part of letting go of those barriers.
Absolutely. Forgiveness is not about condoning actions. It's about choosing to release the resentment and pain we're holding on to.
It's about recognizing that we're all doing the best we can with the understanding we have at any given moment.
And when we can forgive, when we can truly let go, that's when we create the space within ourselves for peace and joy to flow in.
Finally, the lesson gives us some really practical guidance on how to handle those moments when we're tempted to react negatively.
Those moments when we feel like someone is pushing our buttons.
Yeah, exactly. And instead of seeing them as setbacks or failures, the Course encourages us to see them as opportunities.
Opportunities to practice what we're learning. Opportunities to choose again.
It's like those are the moments when our commitment to peace is really tested. And if we can choose to respond with love and forgiveness, even when it's hard, we're not just benefiting the other person, we're strengthening our own inner peace.
We're proving to ourselves that we're committed to a different way of being.
Lesson 105 offers a really powerful framework for putting the principles of the Course into practice, wouldn't you say?
I would absolutely agree. It's so practical. It gives us tangible steps we can take, not just during our formal practice periods, but throughout our day.
It's a reminder that peace and joy aren't some distant goal. They're available to us right here, right now.
It's all about choosing to see with the eyes of love instead of fear.
And recognizing that we have the power to create a more peaceful and joyful experience for ourselves and for everyone around us.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Wonderful. Well, we encourage all of you listening to share your thoughts and any questions you might have about this deep dive into Lesson 105. You can reach out to ACIM at theworldharmonyproject.org. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. And until next time, may peace and joy be with you all.
Always.
Always.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.